This is one of the craziest things I think I've ever really talked about when it comes especially to the companies and stuff behind the scenes that make Call of Duty, but this one is just way out there. There's a lot that, it's really hard to prove, but honestly, there's a lot of evidence that says this is true. And really, if all of this is true, which, like I said, there's plenty of evidence to say that it is, then Treyarch really should be looked down upon. These are honestly some scumbag tactics. This is not the way you treat your employees, and overall, this really should explain a lot behind why Black Ops 4 plays the way it does, is so buggy, glitchy, prone to crashing, etc., why the game feels unpolished and unfinished. This could really be a huge indicator into why that is. While I wish I could show a lot of this stuff on screen and stuff, I don't really know the legality behind this. This guy might be in an NDA or something, and technically this information being released would technically be illegal. And if that's the case, I'm not exactly sure on how I could possibly be reprimanded for that if I could be struck by Activision or anything, so I'm gonna hold off doing that. I will talk about it, and down in the description below you will find plenty of links from all over the internet that are gonna show you screenshots, archived messages, articles about it, the original Reddit thread so you can see how fans have reacted and stuff. I didn't make any of this up, obviously. There is proof down in the description. The original poster really did kind of come through with the information that kind of shows that he actually was an employee at Treyarch. So the real reason why everyone thinks that he's actually a legit Treyarch Zombies QA employee who was recently fired is that he comes on Reddit, right, with his story, kind of exposes the company. But on top of that, to prove he's legit, he confirms the rest of the steps for the Viking boat Easter egg on IX, or 9, and then he also did the Crooked Man audio quotes for Samantha on Classified. And he's also leaking some other information about Nuketown and stuff coming up, and the possibilities of different perks and stuff coming into Zombies, and a lot more behind-the-scenes shit, okay? He's coming through with some very verifiable information. The community has proven, especially with his Easter eggs, that what he's saying isn't lies, so I don't really know how, if he weren't a Treyarch employee, he would have just gotten all this figured out before the rest of the world, and then on top of that made up all this other information, came through on Reddit, actually delivered, because as Reddit says, OP never delivers, actually delivers all of this, and then just deletes everything because he is probably under an NDA. So, safe to say it's legit. Let's go ahead and start talking about it. So, this employee was a disgruntled former Treyarch employee who worked in quality assurance, especially in Zombies. He played and worked on Easter eggs and stuff like that, and he's not the only one who has said that quality assurance at Treyarch is a living fucking nightmare, so I'm not sure if there are other people who will come out with more information who've been fired, but I did see someone from a contracted team of quality assurance players say that their LA offices, Treyarchs, are just a nightmare to be in. But this employee was fired because he went on lunch break at the time they originally told him, so I guess his break or whatever is originally scheduled for 5, and then they told them that they weren't allowed to go on lunch or take their break until 6, which, by the way, I actually believe would have been a violation in US labor laws, as they often actually mandate that you have to have a break at a certain point every certain few hours or something like that. I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, but there's been rumblings of that in the posts on Reddit too. And plus, I remember that from when I actually worked in fast food, which obviously not really the same kind of job, but anyways, so he didn't go on break at 5, they told him they could take their breaks at 6, and then he goes on break at 6, and he comes back to work and is fired on the spot. And they tell him the reason he is fired is because they actually had pushed the break back from 7 after they were supposed to go at 6, in which this employee was literally never notified. According to him, there was no memo, there was no email, no call, no one directly telling him. So basically they fired him for taking his break when they first told him to, and didn't really explain to him that he needed to hold off again. They then got security involved when he refused to leave his office without gathering his personal belongings. They at first were not going to give him back his personal belongings, and then decided that, well, they kinda had to anyways. And then, of course, when they do give him these things back, they literally look at each other and say, well, what's the loss to us? To somebody whose dream it was to work at Treyarch, who said that he actually played as a kid, held countless Easter egg sessions on True Achievements, drove across the country and slept in his car for 2 years to be able to work there, had the #1 most bugs reported, and actually was the only employee on the Zombies team who played Call of Duty outside of work. Wow. A lot of bombshells coming out of that one. First, I want to talk about what he says here at the end. If it's true that these employees are not playing Call of Duty outside of work, that doesn't surprise me at all. I've been saying this for a while, and I know a lot of you are going to know this. I've been saying for a while, what employee there plays this game who said, you know what, we need an impenetrable shield that also has the most overpowered concussion of all time that is uncounterable? What about this dog that has like 500 health that is a one-hit kill? You know, let's make that. I knew these fools weren't playing the game outside of work anyway. I knew they weren't a fan of their own work, because if they were, we'd never have seen things like this. And I'm actually afraid now, considering he had the #1 most bugs reported. Have you played Call of Duty Black Ops 4? Getting rid of your #1 most bugs reported is like if there's a million flies in a room and you take the one fly catcher out of the room that's doing anything. This game is going to be broken for the rest of its life cycle now, you know? And then on top of that, the way that they treated him is just ridiculous. There's no reason you should ever treat any human being this way. Now, there's already been plenty of articles and stories and stuff about how shitty the working conditions in the gaming industry are anyways, how workers are constantly overworked just to get games out on time. But why can't you just let them have a break? You know, just give them the break. It's not that big of a deal. You're just gonna make your employees hate you more if you treat them this way and you constantly shift their break back and just work them to fucking death, you know? And then to hold his personal belongings and say something like, what's the loss to us when you fire literally your #1 most bugs reported Zombies Easter egg quality assurance player who has a passion for game development and playing video games, who literally loves his job there. You know, that's you can't wonder why Call of Duty has been on the decline for so long. All the good employees are leaving these studios. We saw it with Infinity Ward already. Literally like 3/4 of their team or something left and made Respawn Entertainment, and then they put out Ghosts and fucking Infinite Warfare. Oh my goodness. But most of them are back, and I don't know how long for, but if this is the way that these studios are treating their employees, I just can't picture that nightmare of working there. If this is what's known to the public now, imagine what's being said and done to these people behind closed doors. Imagine how shitty the working environment and how toxic it is behind where you can't see. Then when talking about the game, of course, he, like I said, went through all the Easter egg steps. He verified those, of course. He talked a little bit about Nuketown. It seems like that map has not been playtested, at least from what I've read. And the way he's really making it sound, especially when it comes to the Zombies team, you can't be surprised why you can't get to high rounds in Zombies without the game crashing, without all these bugs, glitches, errors, and stuff like that. And the way he's making it sound, I just can't be shocked. You know, I'm not that surprised, I'm just really disappointed, because these are the stories in gaming that don't come out enough. This is really the huge issue behind the curtains no one wants to talk about. Video games are amazing. We always have fun playing video games. I mean, I love video games, right? It's one of my biggest passions. But behind closed doors, the way these employees get treated, overworked, berated, treated like shit, and even paid to a certain extent is insane. And in my favorite franchise right here, you have a living, breathing example. He comes out, he verifies that he at least has some sort of inside knowledge about Treyarch, and he lays it all right out here, you know? And to read it and to see it and know that that's going on, that's sad, dude. That honestly is sad. And the way that those people are being treated is inexcusable. I think somebody needs to look into Treyarch, you know? I think somebody really needs to see what the working environment's like there, because something's gonna have to change. You can't treat employees like that. But I'm glad that he came out and, you know, exposed the story, really, and then, of course, helped the Zombies community with Easter eggs and stuff like that to verify himself, and also to help out the community and stuff like that. Treyarch, shame on you, really, treating your employees like that. That's just garbage, you know, that's garbage. Really low blow move. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're brand new around here. Tell me what you think down below. All the evidence and stuff is linked in the description below. Once again, I was just trying to protect myself and this video by not showing it on the screen and stuff like that. Consider becoming a channel member down below and joining the Optimus Battle Pass for some exclusive perks, emotes, chat badges, etc. Really helps support my content, and you also get something back in return. Join that Discord down below, and until my next video, guys, this is Optimus. not working at Treyarch, and signing out.